Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. And I'm here to review the May 1992 issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated with Hulk Hogan on the cover. So let's get to reviewing. Here you got the table of contents. You got a picture of Great Muta pinning Sting. Between the Falls, where the fans write the magazine. Ringside, the latest news with Bill Apter, and they're talking about Ric Flair winning the Royal Rumble, the 1992 Royal Rumble, the one that a lot of people say is the greatest Royal Rumble ever, me included, because that's the best Royal Rumble that I remember seeing. We talk about, of course, Roddy Piper beating the Mountie for the Intercontinental title, which I also love because I'm a big Roddy Piper fan. So yes, I do think Royal Rumble '92 was the greatest Royal Rumble. From the desk of Stu Sachs, and this talks about Van Hammer, how he feels like he gets cheers from a lot of people, but he sees that there are a certain amount of people that boo him, and he's focusing more on those people than all the people that's cheering him. Seeing Van Hammer, I can't. I mean, I didn't hate Van Hammer. I know he had two great matches with Cactus Jack at the Clash of Champions. But I guess there was a certain amount of fans that did not like him, and I guess the magazine picked up on that, and they tried to create a story out of that. And Van Hammer was just down that even though there's a lot of people that like him, he's just focused on the people that do not like him and that they boo him. So Stu Sachs is trying to get to the bottom of that. The Pro Wrestling Illustrated trivia number, Pro Wrestling Illustrated number, and they have trivia that you can win $500. Win, lose, or draw. Where they're talking about the hardliners, how when they first came into WCW, they were part of the York Foundation. They were the hardline collection agency. They were part of the York Foundation. York Foundation brought them in to take care of the Steiners. Of course, then they had that match. They jumped the Steiners, and Scotty got hurt. Then they just kind of disappeared. They were there for a little bit, then they just disappeared. But then they came back to team up in Puerto Rico, World Wrestling Council. In Focus, and talks about how Jushin Thunder Liger, how he likes to wrestle people that he likes to wrestle wrestlers that he respects. He doesn't want to wrestle people that he gets in feuds with, because he said if he's so mad and he's so angry about hurting somebody, he might screw up a move. And he said he'd rather, if he's wrestling somebody he respects, he will be calm and collected, and he won't screw up on any of his dangerous moves he does. And they talk about the death on here. They talk about the death of Tri-State Wrestling, and they were saying, the big promotion out of big independent promotion out of Philadelphia, and they were setting up for the Buddy Rogers versus Buddy Landell match, and then the promotion died after that. And then, of course, up from that rose ECW, a little company called ECW, Eastern Championship Wrestling, which later became Extreme Championship Wrestling. So they were talk about Joe Goodhart and the promotion dying. The Steel Cage of Bob Sachs, just talking about how there's a lot of people that were tired of the WWF, and instead of stop going to the shows, he said that fans should go to the shows but just boo all the stuff they hate, which is, I guess, what wrestling companies want you to do in the first place. But he was saying that, go and boo all the stupid stuff you see, boo somebody like the Mountie and turn your back on them and stuff like that. But you saying, but don't stop going to the shows. Always go to the shows, but just boo the people you don't like, and boo the things that you don't like. Off the Top Rope with Eddie Elner, just answering fans' questions in his usual smarmy kind of way, smarmy kind of way. Official ratings, top 10. Number 1 is your WWF World Champion Ric Flair. Number 2 is your WCW World Champion Lex Luger. Number 3 is the US Champ Rick Rude. Number 4 is the Intercontinental Champion Roddy Piper. Number 5 is Hulk Hogan. Number 6 is the WCW TV Champion Steve Austin. Number 7 is Sting. Number 8 is the Global North American Champion The Patriot. Number 9 is the USWA Champion Kamala. And number 10 is the Pacific Northwest Heavyweight Champion Ron Harris. Your tag teams. Number 1, the WWF Tag Team Champions, the Legion of Doom. Number 2, the WCW Tag Team Champions, Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton. Number 3, the U.S. Champions, the Young Pistols. Number 4, the Global Tag Team Champions, John Tatum and Rod Price. Number 5, the USWA Tag Team Champions, the Moondogs. Number 6, Dustin Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat. Number 7, the Natural Disasters. Number 8, the Steiners. Number 9, the New Foundation. Number 10, the Pacific Northwest Tag Team Champions, Jesse Barr and Beetlejuice. There's, of course, a picture of Steve Austin, a young Steve Austin starting out. Well, he'd been in the business for about a year or so, but he just arrived in WCW and soon after that captured the TV title from Bobby Eaton. Time capsules where they just show some old pictures, and that's just crazy because, like I said, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, they have so many pictures, decades and decades worth of pictures, and they don't do anything with them now. They just, I don't know where they're at, but like I'm saying, they should like put out a book now with all these old pictures, and they just do nothing with them. At least with here, they used to have a little time capsule segment. And before that, I think it was the wrestler, they would have Beyond a Square Circle, where they would show old pictures and stuff. But now, all those pictures, they just do nothing with them. So, pictures of Bobo Brazil and George Crybaby Cannon and some other people I don't even know. Yeah, but it's just like all these pictures that they have, Pro Wrestling Illustrated has in their little vault. They just don't do anything with them. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Why intimidation means as much as skill. I just talking about some wrestlers who might not necessarily be the best wrestlers, but the intimidation factor can scare people. You know, like guys like Undertaker and Abdullah the Butcher and Cactus Jack. You might be scared to wrestle them before you even get in the ring with them. And they even got like guys how Michael Hayes might not intimidate you by being scary, but just how arrogant he is, he can intimidate you. And then like somebody like a Billy Robinson whose wrestling skill could intimidate you. And then if somebody like crazy like Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer could intimidate you. Press conference with the Lightning Kid. This is when he was still in Global. He had just lost the light heavyweight championship to Jerry Lynn. And, you know, I had never seen nothing like him. Because when you first saw him, you know, he's just so skinny. And you're just like, what could this guy do? Then you saw them, like, particularly the matches with Jerry Lynn were just so awesome. These matches were really ahead of their time. the match they had in Global. Lightning Kid and Jerry Lynn just crazy good. Just like I said, they were extremely ahead of their time. And he talks about how he really wants to wrestle Jushin Thunder Liger. He wants to go to Japan and wrestle Jushin Thunder Liger. Randy Savage post-suspension scorecard has Merge Mello the Macho Man. And he just talks about how since Macho Man's came back to get revenge on Jake the Snake, he has not really done a good job. He might win the matches, but, Jake the Snake still survived. You figure Macho Man was going to kill this guy. I remember thinking Macho Man is going to kill this guy, and that never happened. Revitalized in Tokyo, Hulk Hogan is super psyched for WrestleMania 8. Yeah, so this is when he was in Japan for that show that with Tenru's show. I think it was SWS, and then he actually wrestled Tenru. And this is, I guess, before WrestleMania. And they always talk about how Hulk Hogan showed tremendous wrestling skill in Japan that he didn't show in the States. But he wrestled and he did beat Tenru. The Stunner of 1992. Sting and Muta put aside their differences and defeat the Steiner brothers. Yeah, because when we first saw Great Muta as Great Muta, he had a feud with Sting, and now this Great Muta returned to Japan, became a big deal in Japan, and him and Sting team up to face the Steiners. I don't know if this was the WCW New Japan Super Show, the first one. I'm not sure, but Jarrett and Fuller reunite. We're back to save the USWA from the Moondogs. Because Robert Fuller and Jeff Jarrett were enemies at one time. Then they joined up. Then they broke up. They just separated. Then they came back together to face the Moondogs, who was just terrorizing the USWA. The Moondogs were just crazy violent, beating up, destroying everybody in the USWA. So Robert Fuller, who was a known cheating wrestler, teamed up with Jeff Jarrett, and they had to fight fire with fire to try to take care of the Moondogs. And a continuation of From the Death with Sue Sachs talking about Van Hammer. This month in Inside Wrestling, Bret Hart from Hitman to The Man. And from Sports Review Wrestling, the top story, special photo section, all the action and drama from Starrcade 91. Continuation of Between the Falls, back issues of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Continuation from Ringside. They talked about how the Nasty Boys and IRS were involved in an outside of the ring incident on January 5th in Illinois. According to a Peoria Police Department press release, Brian Knobs and Jerry Sags, as well as Irwin R. Shyster, were driving to their motel after a match in Peoria when three men began following them. After one of the men threw a rock at the car, Knobs got out of the car and was attacked. In the ensuing fight, Knobs was stabbed 4 times, 3 times in the arm and once in the stomach. and Sag suffered a concussion after being hit by a jumper cable that caused a 2-inch laceration on the left side of his head. Both men were treated at a local hospital and released. I don't remember hearing none of this. Never heard any of this story. So it's January 5th of 92. So, I didn't get to observe a newsletter at that time. So I guess they talked about it, but I never heard anything about this. Oh, and from World Class, Ralph Pulley was a guest announcer. Died from they said cancer, but I heard that he actually died from AIDS. I don't know, but right here they said he died from cancer on January 6th. Ralph Pulley, he was the referee and a ring announcer for World Class back in the day. Oh, and also Jim Herd has resigned as executive vice president of World Championship Wrestling. He was replaced with Kip Fry. So yeah, I remember that. So I remember Jim Herd and of course Kip Fry. Continuation of the Randy Savage story. Well, I thought he was going to get the best of Jake the Snake, but he really didn't. He would win matches, but Jake kind of dominated him. So I guess marriage life did make Macho Man soft. Continuation of the press conference with the Lightning Kid. Excuse me, the Lightning Kid. Continuation of the story of the hardliners. Now they're in the World Wrestling Council, WWC. Continuation of Off the Top Rope. The Arena Reports. Wrestling Inquirer. Harley Race looks to expanding his stable. He had Lex Luger, and then he had Mr. Hughes. Then he signed Vader next. And he said he was going to sign some more people, but I think it just stopped with Vader. In martial arts explosion in ICWA, Rob Van Dam was preparing to wrestle Jerry Flynn. It's a very young Rob Van Dam. And Chris Chavez changes his name and heads to the WWF. Chris Chavez, who is better known as Tatanka, who heads to the WWF. And career close up with Rick Rude. I hate these pinups that they put them in the back of the magazine. If you wanted to hang them up, you would have to take the back cover off. That made no sense. I don't understand why they thought that was a good idea. But eventually they did change it, but I just never understood that. Got pictures of him wrestling Billy Jack Haynes, picture of Rick Rude wrestling Billy Jack Haynes, Sting, and the Ultimate Warrior. Picture of the United States champion, current U.S. champion at the time, ravishing Rick Rude. Okay, once again, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated hotline. Okay, this has been a review of the May 1992 issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. If you like, please like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.